LAKSHMI PRASANNA.
Yes, sir.
So you did your graduation in information technology.
Yes.
And you are also quite interested, it seems, in artificial intelligence related symposiums or something.
Yes.
You must have connected something there. So in that connection, just I want to ask you nowadays that ChatGPT and this about artificial intelligence connected affairs of the state and the world, they are quite in currency. And so, what are your views on that? Pros and negatives, cons of the promotion of AI. If you promote AI further and further, so is it good for the sake of humanity, or what do you think? Or does it have any negative effect? Whatever. Just
So, artificial intelligence as a new front-end technology. It is the technology of educating by through the machine learning algorithms will make the computers to think like a human being by using the algorithms. So, artificial intelligence comes with certain advantages. There are certain ethical issues do involved in it. So, for many purposes, like it has a wide applications. For example, you can take uses of artificial intelligence in Google search engine.
who is the chief executive officer of OpenAI? It is the
Yes,
very famous firm related to
yes.
artificial intelligence.
OpenAI firm. It is the firm which introduced the chat GPT.
Yes. Who is the CEO currently,
Sir.
and he is quite famous, and he has recently visited India and he met our honorable PM in America, so he is quite popular. It's okay. So, what is the role of this AI in the current Ukraine war?
So, in the field level, I don't think they are currently using AI, sir. Maybe in the background, it can be used as a security preparedness for security threat analysis. If USA is using it, sir, for its security alertness.
Is Russia not using it?
So,
Drone technology and the automated weaponry being exploded.
so they are using drone. Yes, sir, they are using drone technology. For field level operations, I think they are not using in field directly, sir. Maybe at the background of defense preparedness, they might be using AI, sir.
What do you know about NATO?
So NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was a military collaboration between 30 countries. Most of them are European countries. It was formed after the
How many
second.
countries are
So
there?
30.
30.
Yes.
Are you sure 30?
So recently Finland was added.
So it is 30th or 29th or 31st or 32nd.
So Finland, I think it's 31st.
31st. What is the capital of Finland?
So it's Helsinki.
Yes, very good. Tell me about BRICS, BRICS, BRICS. Nowadays we are also hearing because about BRICS is going to have its conference in this month.
So BRICS stands for, it's an acronym of the countries like Bharat, Russia.
Will our PM be attending that BRICS conference?
So I think
Yes,
yes.
huh?
I think yes.
So personally or online?
So I'm unaware of
And
it.
it
I
is
will
there
read it.
yesterday, the day before. Oh, it's okay. And what about Vladimir Putin? Will he be attending it?
So I'll read on it, sir, who are going to attend. And so Russia is a member of it. Russia is a member of the country. Whether he will attend physically or by the virtual media, I will read on it.
No, but they say he will not attend personally. There is some issue in connection with Putin's visit to South Africa. So he can't go out of Russia. So what is that issue?
So Russia, South Africa.
Putin, Vladimir Putin's. Okay. So the present condition in India, as far as law and order is concerned, what do you think? It is peaceful or disturbing?
So throughout the country, it's peaceful, except Manipur violence is a major issue that's running up.
Only Manipur?
So land order issues do happen with the time it will.
No, since last 2 days, that Haryana and Gurgaon and No and
So, yes, sir.
Faridabad,
They
something is going on. Do you think it is a peaceful area now?
So they were a position by Vishwa Hindu Parishad.
No, it is peaceful or disturbing. What do you feel?
So it's a disturbing.
So you are the Home Minister of
Yeah.
India. So how will you tackle these situations so that peace and harmony are restored in the country?
So if there is a violation of any human rights, definitely I'll take a strict action against them. If any positions there which is according to the law with prior permission, if it is in peaceful terms, then I'll deal that issue with negotiations. So,
Who is the governor of Manipur state?
so I'm unaware.
Who is known as the rocket woman of India?
Kharidayal.
The-
Ritu Kharidayal.
Ah, good.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ritu Kharidayal.
This today, 4th August.
Yes.
So, how it is being remembered today? It has got some significance today.
Sir, today is International Beer Day. Beer.
Very good, very good,
There's one.
very good, very good.
August is the month where in Indian independence movement, Quit India movement
Day
was
wise
launched.
today, 4th
So
day wise.
that's only.
One of our great singers' birthday anniversary is being celebrated today. He is no more Bollywood singer.
So I have very little information
Oh,
on singing
okay.
field, sir. I'm sorry for that.
LAKSHMI PRASANNA, you are from Annamaya district.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, recently the districts were reorganized.
Yes, sir.
Certain districts are given the names of certain individuals,
Yes.
like in your district.
Yes.
Now tell us how many districts are named after certain individuals.
So there are 7 districts. One is Annamaya district, another one is NTR district, another one is Potti Sriramulu Nellore district, Vaisar district.
That was already there.
So that was already there.
After reorganization I'm talking about.
So total, as of now, total 7 districts are named, sir. New one is Annamaya district, Satyasai district in the name of Puttapathri Sai Baba. NTR district is the new name, and Ambedkar Konaseema district is the new name. I think these are the new names, sir.
One freedom fighter.
So Alluri is our other districts.
Yes, I think our greatest freedom fighter.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. No? So while giving the names,
Sir.
you don't find anywhere any difficulty. So the names were accepted by the people and they were also given.
Yes.
But in case of one district, there is some turmoil.
So it's Ambedkar Konaseema district. Some people
Now
doesn't-
tell us, as an administrator, why there is unrest for putting the name of Dr. Ambedkar?
So earlier government, I think it conducted a survey whether to put the name or not. Earlier people said they accepted for it, for putting the name as an Ambedkar district. Later, due to some political issues, maybe.
No, you forget about political aspects. Now, what is the attitude of the people why they are opposing this name?
So maybe people has a complete misconception about the concept of reservation. Whenever they didn't get any job, they blame it on the
As an
reservations.
administrator, maybe is
Sir.
not the issue.
As a
What exactly your assessment?
So people resentment is because he is the one who who introduced the concept of reservation via the constitution. So that resentment might be lead to such chaos. I'm saying the reason for it, sir. Why people are resenting it.
So, Ambedkar contribution is only for reservation.
So people has narrow perception about him, sir. That's
So
why.
now, as an administrator and as a human also, and especially when we go to that district, most of the people are illiterate.
Yes.
Most of the people are financially also very poor. Now, if you are made the administrator or collector of the district, what will be your priorities?
So as women, as most of the people are illiterate, as you are saying, sir, I'll definitely concentrate on improving the education or literacy in that area. When there is that literacy problem, maybe because of various reasons. There might be child marriages, there might be a child labor, there might be a migration reason. So, first thing I'll work on poverty. When poverty is being met, the problem of child labor will be up to some extent can be sorted out. So then they'll be ready to send the schools. At the same time, I'll work on improving the quality of education. At the same time, infrastructure within the schools. So I'll make ensure the proper implementation of the midday meal
Now in
system.
the AP, I think in the literacy rate, where does it stand?
Sir, it's 67%.
Now where does it stand in the hierarchy of literacy?
Sir, it's very low compared to the national average. National average is the 74%.
You see, you are saying that you are going to introduce education. Education is there. Education literacy is now there, and the literacy also is very low. But as a good administrator, you have to see what type of education is to be introduced. Now, the union government came with 2020, so NEP. Okay, so whether that is okay, or do you want to introduce any new novelty as far as education is concerned?
So, as the new education policy incorporated, and it means it put up with the suggestions that has the ability to solve most of the issues that were present in our education system. It provided for vocational education. It given with the entry and exit options in intermediate education, and it recommended for complete restructuring of the curriculum, and it come up with the 3-language formula. All those are the good steps, sir. Along with that, one thing
last
missed out is
question. So you are working as Panchayat Secretary
Yes.
now. Where do you work?
sir in Annamaya district, Nandalur Mandal of TVpuram GP, sir.
Okay. There in the particular mandal where you are working, what is the most acute problem?
So it's it is in rain shadow region. Most of the people go for out migration. Out migration is the biggest problem in those areas. Most of the people go to Saudi, Qatar, Arabia. So Saudi Arabia. So as both the parents went to foreign countries, they left out only children and old age. So there was a skewed social structure. Some landed problems do exist. Some child marriages do exist. That was the major reasons. It is major.
So how is it addressed there?
So MG Narega is properly implemented in my mandal, sir. At the same time, when
No, I'm talking about this old people and the children are left in the villages, and these parents are going to other countries.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For children, we are giving them some residential education kind of facilities was there, sir. At the same time, for land order issues, any problems they face, they were recruitment of Mahila police in the Gram Panchayat level. So they helped them, sir.
Thank you.
What is your mandal name? GP name?
Sir, it's TVpuram, sir. TVpuram, sir.
TVpuram. What is the population?
Sir, it's around 900.
900.
Yes. It is the smallest.
After taking over charge as Panchayat Secretary, did you visit how many households?
Sir, it's a very small GP. It has only 2 habitations. My home means when I go from my place to office, that GP comes in the middle only. So every day I will go to that place.
Okay, but you stay in Nandalur, not Nandalur, even in town.
Sir, I am staying in Tanguturu.
Tanguturu.
It's my birthplace.
Okay.
That TVpuram GP lies in the middle of my own place as well as the Gram Sachvalaya, sir.
But as per your this thing you mentioned, there is some water sanitation you will look after, birth and death, marriage registrations, provision of drinking water.
Yes, sir.
If there is some problem, how fast will you reach?
Sir, it's just a kilometer from my own place, from my home, sir.
Okay.
So whenever there is any problem, they'll directly make a call to me. Then I'll reach to that place, sir.
Gram Panchayat sits how often?
So every day we need to go for Gram Panchayat, sir.
No, Gram Panchayat sits how often?
So Gram Sabha, you are asking. So there is a mandatory requirement of holding Gram Sabha meetings 4 times a year, sir. It's a mandatory. Whenever there is any emergency, they'll conduct like emergency meeting. Atyavasar Samavesham.
Sarpanch, who is your Sarpanch?
So for TVpuram GP, it's ADLAKSHMI. So
Okay.
B ADLAKSHMI.
What records you maintain, Amma? In sir.
So there are 3 different types of records will be maintained. One for day-to-day related issues like CL register, attendance register, moments register. For another thing for office related issues like sanitation related issues, health related issues, like street
Who will
light
maintain
maintenance.
these things under your supervision only?
Yes, sir.
You write on or you just sign by somebody enters some record?
So, Panchayati secretary has certain records. Definitely, they have to maintain it. I'll write by my own.
You are the Panchayat secretary.
Yes, sir.
Your husband is also working.
He is also Panchayati secretary.
He is also Panchayat secretary. So for so long, you for almost 4 years, you have been working.
Yes, sir.
You said your father works in APPSC, no?
Yes, sir.
Worked.
Yes.
So government Andhra Pradesh recently has announced and Telangana has also followed suit. What is that issue?
So, all the employees of APPSC RTC are being absorbed into the government of Andhra Pradesh, sir.
Well, what is the difference?
So, earlier it was a corporation. When they are in a corporation, they don't get the pay scale. So, when they are absorbed into the government of AP, they'll given the pay scale and it is on par with the other government employees.
Pay scale? No. I don't. Pay scale, there is a corporation also has a pay scale.
So, but when compared with the government employees, it was low, sir.
In fact, some corporations give more than the government.
Yes, sir. Some like APSP, DCL.
What is your view? Should we nationalize our government organization or privatize? Which is better for India?
So it depends on the financial position of the firm, sir. Some Navaratna firms are doing very well. So
if financial position is not good, we have to privatize it.
sir, first we have to work on like there were a number of acts like SICA Act, Surface Act. So we have to work on that. We have to take some steps to improve the financial health of that firm. If doesn't work out, then it's better to go for privatization or strategic disinvestment.
Okay. You have mentioned in your tab about TB,
Yes, sir.
tuberculosis patient.
Yes, sir.
Only one patient you have adopted, or did you do anything?
So in my GP, there is only one patient is there.
Okay.
So in my mandal, there are around 3-4 patients, and others adopted them.
You take a record of them every time?
No, sir, I don't get that medical
what?
related information.
Okay.
I'll only give them nutritious food, some fruits, vegetables, some like meat, eggs. I'll purchase with my own money and distribute to her.
Have you heard about COP?
Conference of Parties.
Yes.
So it's
What is it?
it's a mechanism in UNFCCC. Where countries for every year there will be one conference of parties. So every country through their representatives went there. They discuss some issues. They will come up with some resolutions.
Everybody who goes for a meeting goes for some issues only. What does the COP specifically do?
So it will do with climate change, global warming related issues, and developing countries, funding for developing countries for last
What is
and
India's commitment?
So India, from its side, it come up with a new life movement.
Right.
And
What are its commitment towards carbon and emissions?
So India committed to achieve the net zero by 2047,
Okay.
and it has intended.
2047.
Yes.
Okay.
So it has intended determined goals.
No, we have to pay. Okay.
You have moved from engineering to Panchayat secretary.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think this is under-employment?
So up to some extent, yes. But in my engineering final year, I developed an interest towards preparing for government services, sir. So after my engineering, I started preparing, sir. But due to some family responsibilities, there was a gap in my career. Actual preparation was started from 2018, sir. Then there was in 2018, I had given APPSC Group 1 9, sir. Unfortunately, I couldn't clear it. At that time, there was a DSWS recruitment, so I had written that, sir.
Okay. What What is ethical hacking?
So ethical hacking is a mechanism that is being employed by the law enforcement agencies. So the purpose is to investigate a crime rather than being using the data for any rather than using the hacker data for doing any harm. It will be used for investigative purposes.
What do you mean by cyber security, and what are the laws related to cyber security in India?
So cyber security is a mechanism in order to protect the content as well as the individual data as well as the individual from cyber attacks, cyberbullying and hacking, all those activities. There was an organization by the name CERTIN. It will deal with the cyber security issues. There was an act called the Information Technology Act, IT Act. It will deal with the penal provisions for those acts, for those crimes.
You have only one act.
So, as far as I remember, that's the act. So, there are cyber swachhata kendras do have there.
I am asking laws.
So, I think IPC some provisions might be there, sir, but I am unaware of it, sir.
What about Cyber Security Act 2013?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'll read on it, sir.
Okay. What are the security issues with 5G?
So, data privacy is one issue, might be subjected to hacking. There are many advantages like latency will be reduced, it will use multiple frequencies. So, up to.
Okay. Where did you apply your computer knowledge as Panchayat Secretary?
So, in Panchayat administration, there are a number of applications we use in day by day.
No. Where did you apply? As a computer engineer?
So everything nowadays, even Panchayat administration is being digitalized, sir. In that sense, my IT knowledge is highly useful. For example, I use like a digital Panchayat app where there is a end-to-end digitalization of the house tax collection, sir. At the same time, we use e-Gram Swaraj app, e-Gram Swaraj portal, sir, where we need to upload our GPDP plans, our resources, everything we need to upload, sir. At the same time, we interlinked e-Gram Swaraj with PFMS interface is there, sir. Everything we take, like every cost we incurred in day-to-day administration need to be paid through that, sir, only through online payments.
What are the basic problems of Gram Panchayat?
So earlier there were the problem of funds, functions, functionaries. With Gram Ward Sachwalaya system, the functionaries problem do resolve. Now there are the problems of funds and functions.
So, what is the use of Gram Sachwalaya when functions are not given to Gram Panchayat?
So as of now, 10 out of 29 functional items in 9th schedule is being devoluted. So it is the state's government responsibility under the 243C of the constitution to go for further devolutions. For that, political will need to be worked on.
What are the functions of MPDO?
So MPDO is the Mandal level executive authority. He is responsible for setting up the Mandal level goals. At the same time, targets for each panchayat and Mandal level goals.
PRASANNA, you have written about working as a volunteer on sanitation.
Yes, sir.
Is there any sanitation initiative from government of Andhra Pradesh?
So it's Jagananna Swachha Sankalpam is there, sir. It's a 100 days program where it aims to make Andhra Pradesh as a bin free, dust free state.
Have you heard about sustainable development goals?
Yes, sir.
Which goal we can connect that?
So
Sanitation.
sanitation is related to most of the SDGs, sir. With sanitation, we can achieve zero poverty, we can reduce the hunger. It's indirectly linked to most of the
Although we have a specific goal for achieving sanitation.
So I'll read on it.
Well, you have written about artificial intelligence. Recently, one person who is very well connected with the research of artificial intelligence stepped down from artificial intelligence research, saying that artificial intelligence is going to have a lot of ethical dimensions. What are the two ethical dilemmas or ethical implications of artificial intelligence?
So one ethical issue is data privacy. Artificial intelligence uses tons of data. Is it really accurate? That's one ethical question, sir. Another question, when we use it for critical situations like life-saving issues like that, can we trust them? Is there like credibility of that missions can be questioned, sir. For
The
example,
Indian government is trying to use artificial intelligence in administration today. Do we have data privacy in India?
so data protection bill is pending before the parliament, sir, but it's been using in number of applications.
You have written here about TB. You have worked as a volunteer,
Yes, sir.
as an LAKSHMI.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about drug resistance?
Yes, sir.
What is
drug-
TB?
MDR. So drug resistance is a mechanism whenever a TB bacteria develop resistant towards the first line antibiotics.
As
Like
an LAKSHMI, have you addressed this?
sir, Nikshya role is limited to serving them, like financially helping them. As a volunteer, someone who don't have medical education, like medical knowledge, I cannot help them out in those treatments, sir. Only thing I can give them some nutritional support, sir.
Are you aware of debt of Andhra Pradesh? Because there is this hue and cry
Yes,
on the debt increase in Andhra Pradesh state.
So, yes, sir, as of now, according to the recent economic survey, there were 4.82 lakh crore is debt was there,
4.82.
lakh crore. But CAG says that,
Are you sure about it, the number?
sir, yes, sir, I'm sure about the number. But CAG says in the name of budget borrowings, their Andhra Pradesh debt is more than 10 lakh crore. It's a CAG report, sir.
What are our budget liabilities?
Our budget borrowing is something which, in the name of corporations, they go for taking the loans from the market. It does not incorporate it into the government.
Okay. Gram Panchayat collects a lot of taxes.
Yes.
What are the non-taxes that you have?
So for non-tax revenue, whenever someone can I tell in Telugu, sir? Yes. Most of మేము పంచాయతీలో నార్మల్ వర్డ్స్ వాడతాం సార్. ఎవరైనా బందర్ దొడ్లు ఏర్పాటు చేసుకోవాలంటే వాళ్ళకి లైసెన్స్ ఫీజు ఇవ్వాలి సార్. టవర్స్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకోవాలన్నా వాటిని రెన్యువల్
That is
చేయాలన్నా
non-tax.
ఎస్ ఆల్ దోస్ కన్సిడర్ నాన్ ట్యాక్స్.
Working as part of Panchayat department, have you heard about social audit and importance of social audit in Panchayat?
ఎస్ ఐ హర్డ్ ఆఫ్.
What is social audit?
So social audit is a mechanism of whenever a government scheme or whenever a government spending expenditure is happened, any NGO or people per se can also audit the account books of the panchayat, sir. It was implemented for NGNREGA scheme.
Okay. Right. Good.
Thanks.
Okay.